Hi, Chair Powell. Thank you. I was wondering if we should still be seeing the taper and interest rate hikes as separate. And secondly, in the last cycle, the Fed started shrinking the balance sheet when short-term interest rates were about 1 to 1.25% range. Do you think the FOMC might be able to potentially start running off assets before that this time?
Are they separate? So our interest rate, yeah, they are separate tools. So the asset purchases are a separate tool from interest rates. Stopping asset purchases does not remove accommodation. It just stops adding further accommodation, whereas raising interest rates starts to remove accommodation from what is a highly accommodative stance. The extent to which they'll be separated in time is something we haven't really discussed at the committee yet. We will be discussing that, obviously, in coming meetings. I don't think that the last cycle there was quite a long separation before interest rates. I don't think that's at all likely in this cycle. We're in a very, very different place with high inflation, strong growth, a really strong economy. That as I mentioned, the SEP medians are for 4% growth next year, 3.5% unemployment at the end of the year, and the headline inflation of 2.6% next year, core at 2.7. So this is a strong economy, one in which it's appropriate for interest rate hikes. So they're separate, I would say. Your second question was?
My second question was about runoff.
Runoff,
in the last cycle.
So with the balance sheet, we did have a balance sheet discussion. It's our sort of a first discussion of balance sheet issues at our meeting this week. We'll have another at the next meeting and another at the meeting after that. I suspect these are interesting issues to discuss. Didn't make any decisions today. We looked back at what happened in the last cycle, and people thought that was interesting and informative. But to one degree or another, people noted that this is just a different situation, and those differences should inform the decisions we make about the balance sheet this time. So haven't made any decisions at all about when runoff would start, but we'll be continuing to, in relation to when either liftoff happens or the end of the taper. But those are exactly the decisions we'll be turning to in coming meetings.